You guys listen. What you are about to hear is not another 50 Cent versus Diddy update. This is the update. The one that quietly slipped out this week, while everybody was arguing in the comments. And once you see what 50 Cent just moved into position, you're going to understand why JayZ has not slept properly in about 6 days. Think about that timing. That is not a coincidence. That is a countdown. And 50 Cent has been counting since before most of these people knew there was a clock. 50 Cent watched. 50 Cent remembered the offhand comment at a listening party in 2007. 50 Cent remembered the weird handshake at a Grammy afterparty in 2011. 50 Cent remembered which producer got quiet when a certain topic came up backstage. And 50 Cent filed every single one of those moments in a mental Rolodex that has now, apparently, been converted into a shot list. I repeat, JayZ, not Diddy. JayZ, because the game 50 Cent is playing right now is not a rap beef. It is not a documentary rollout. It is a countdown clock. And there is a name written on the timer that nobody in Hollywood wants to say out loud. And guess what? 50 Cent knows it. 50 Cent has known it for months. And 50 Cent is about to force the entire industry to say for 50 Cent. So sit down, because this one changes everything. Here is the part nobody is talking about. And this is the angle. Everybody online is asking the same tired question. Will there be a season 2 of Sean Combs, The Reckoning? Will JayZ be in it? Will Rick Ross get the smoke? Wrong question. Absolutely the wrong question. The real story is not what 50 Cent is going to release next. The real story is the trap 50 Cent already built and quietly walked every single celebrity into without any of them noticing. Because while everybody was busy watching the Netflix numbers climb to #1 in 36 countries, 50 Cent was doing something far more surgical. 50 Cent was reading the room. 50 Cent was mapping who liked which post, who stayed silent, who gave a weird half defense on a podcast, and who suddenly deleted an old photo. That is not a documentary. That is a loyalty audit. And JayZ, whether JayZ wants to admit it or not, just failed it. Let me set the table so nobody gets lost. The Netflix docuseries dropped and did not just perform. It detonated. #1 in 36 countries. Still climbing in 11 more. And then 3 Emmy nominations landed like a second strike. Outstanding documentary. Outstanding directing. Outstanding picture editing. 50 Cent posted the news with one line that summed up a decade of doubt. Everybody had something to say when 50 Cent announced it. Now the Emmys got something to say too. 3 nominations for Sean Combs, The Reckoning. You cannot argue with work. And that sentence right there, that one sentence, is why the industry is quietly panicking. Because if 50 Cent can turn a hated feud into Emmy-nominated prestige television, what stops 50 Cent from doing it again? And again, and again, nothing. That is what stops 50 Cent. Absolutely nothing. And that is the part that keeps replaying the mind of every executive who ever cut a check to a bad room. Because 50 Cent does not need a subpoena to embarrass anybody. 50 Cent just needs a slow Wednesday and a phone with a full battery. Now here is where the JayZ part gets weird. And I need you guys to pay attention, because this is the moment the whole story cracks open. 50 Cent posted a picture. Not just any picture. An edited picture. A fan-drawn illustration of JayZ. And 50 Cent wrote a caption that said, "Please stop sending 50 Cent stuff like this. 50 Cent is not going to post it." And then 50 Cent posted it. Everybody laughed. Everybody said, "Classic 50 Cent trolling. Move along." But here is what everybody missed. 50 Cent was in the comments of that post. And 50 Cent was liking specific replies. Not random ones. Specific ones. Replies that said JayZ is next. Replies that said the walls are closing in. Replies that named names, dates, parties, and rumors that have been whispered in green rooms since 2005. 50 Cent liked them. Quietly. Surgically. And once the internet caught the pattern, the whole comment section became a receipt. That is not petty. That is a strategy dressed up like a joke. And JayZ, watching from a very quiet penthouse somewhere, understood the message immediately. Because JayZ has known 50 Cent for a very long time, and JayZ knows exactly what a 50 Cent smile looks like right before the punch lands. Let us rewind, because context matters. 50 Cent has been openly talking about Diddy for years. Years. Long before any lawsuit. Long before any freak-off headline. Long before Cassie's filing broke the internet. 50 Cent said it in interviews. 50 Cent said Diddy was strange. 50 Cent said Diddy tried to move on 50 Cent at Chris Lighty's wedding by offering to take 50 Cent shopping like 50 Cent was a woman 50 Cent was attracted to. 50 Cent looked at Diddy, according to 50 Cent, and asked what did Diddy just say, and 50 Cent kept it in 50 Cent's back pocket for 2 decades, waiting, watching, because 50 Cent is not a rapper first. 50 Cent is a producer, an executive, and a chess player who happened to also make songs. When Cassie filed a lawsuit, 50 Cent did not react. 50 Cent moved. 50 Cent picked up the phone. 50 Cent called a filmmaker. 50 Cent said, "We are doing this the right way. Not a hit piece, a body of work." And when critics tried to call the finished series a shameful hit piece, when Diddy's team fired off a cease and desist in Netflix claiming the footage was stolen and unauthorized, the numbers responded before any lawyer could. Number 1 in 36 countries. 3 Emmys. Silence from the accused. That is not a coincidence. That is architecture. And this is where the industry realized 50 Cent was not making entertainment. 50 Cent was making a mirror. Every time somebody in a suit watched the documentaries, that somebody was really watching a preview of what a future project about that somebody could look like. That is why phone lines between Los Angeles publicists and New York lawyers have been lighting up all week. Nobody wants to be the practice run. And nobody wants to be the case study 50 Cent uses to pitch the next season to Netflix. Now watch how 50 Cent boxed in JayZ without ever using JayZ's government name in the show. In an interview, 50 Cent was asked how close Diddy and JayZ really were. 50 Cent leaned in and painted a picture that will never leave the internet. 50 Cent said Diddy and JayZ were close enough that Diddy pulled JayZ on stage, patted JayZ on the backside, and made a broad public statement that nobody could call Diddy by Diddy's first name except JayZ. 50 Cent then said 50 Cent heard JayZ say the same thing about Diddy. And 50 Cent, ever the surgeon, added the detail that Diddy and JayZ used to check on each other's. And 50 Cent chose the words carefully, matching skinny white girls. That is not a joke. That is a public deposition disguised as a podcast bit. Because once that clip travels, JayZ is no longer a bystander. JayZ is a character. And characters get seasons. Meanwhile, Marlon Wayans walked into the studio and stepped on a landmine 50 Cent had buried weeks earlier. Marlon Wayans, asked about the documentary, said Marlon Wayans did not watch the documentary, but Marlon Wayans thought brothers should not be crawling on each other in public. Marlon Wayans said Marlon Wayans would not even say the name anymore. If a fan asked Marlon Wayans for change of $1, Marlon Wayans would say Marlon Wayans need a half $1. Cute line. Bad timing. Because 50 Cent, sitting on top of a number 1 show, does not need cute. 50 Cent needs targets. And 50 Cent hit Marlon Wayans with memes, with edits, with clips, with sharp posts that made Marlon Wayans a subplot in someone else's story overnight. Marlon Wayans tried to clarify. Marlon Wayans said Marlon Wayans was not defending Diddy. Marlon Wayans said the narrative was twisted. Marlon Wayans said do not be sheep. But the internet had already picked a side, and the side had 50 Cent's face on it. Now here's the piece the culture has been dancing around, and I'm going to say it plain. There's a reason A-list celebrities have not spoken on Diddy. Ask yourself, when Harvey Weinstein got exposed, the pile-on was instant. Actors, actresses, directors, publicists, all lining up to distance themselves within 48 hours. With Diddy, the silence is deafening. Silent Grammys, silent BET Awards, silent podcasts, silent Instagram stories. And 50 Cent named the reason in one calm sentence. It is part of the hip-hop culture. 50 Cent said if 50 Cent was not saying the things 50 Cent has been saying, everybody would assume the culture was fine with those behaviors. Read that twice. 50 Cent just accused an entire generation of moguls of participation by silence. And once 50 Cent said it, the silence stopped being neutral. The silence became evidence. That is the trap. That is the whole trap. Every day a big name does not speak. The fan base writes another name on the whiteboard, and 50 Cent does not even have to lift a finger. Now, let's talk about the forgotten detail. Because everybody keeps replaying the same clips, but nobody has zoomed in on the small line that tells you what 50 Cent is really planning. When 50 Cent was asked about JayZ directly, 50 Cent did not attack JayZ. Watch this. 50 Cent said, 50 Cent and JayZ never had that street thing. 50 Cent said, if 50 Cent and JayZ had a real problem, 50 Cent and JayZ would be actively doing things to each other, and 50 Cent and JayZ were not doing that. 50 Cent said the tension with JayZ was competitive, not personal. And then 50 Cent, almost like an afterthought, said 50 Cent hopes things are all right for JayZ internally. Internally. That word right there, that is not a rap lyric. That is a courtroom word. That is the word a lawyer uses when a lawyer already knows what the discovery is going to show. 50 Cent did not threaten JayZ. 50 Cent left the door open. An open door in 50 Cent hands is worse than a diss track, because a diss track ends. A door does not. Now I want you guys to consider something the mainstream press keeps skipping. 50 Cent did not just build a documentary. 50 Cent built a business model. Think about it. 50 Cent has Power, the Power Book spin-offs, BMF, and now Sean Combs, The Reckoning. That is a full studio. That is a media company hiding inside a rapper's Instagram feed. And every project 50 Cent releases makes the next one easier to greenlight. So when 50 Cent hints at a JayZ angle, a Rick Ross spinoff, or a wider industry chapter, executives do not laugh. Executives listen. Executives pull up 50 Cent's ratings history and ask assistants to clear a room for a pitch. That is real power. Not petty. Not troll. Structural. Now factor in the daughter comment. In one of the sit-downs, when the interviewer brought up Diddy's team statement mentioning a daughter of similar age, 50 Cent got quiet for half a second. Half a second. Anybody who studies 50 Cent knows that pause. That pause is 50 Cent choosing to not detonate the room. That pause is 50 Cent saving something for a season 2 announcement. And once the internet started clipping that pause, comment sections filled up with theories about who else has a daughter that age, who else was at those white parties, who else stopped showing up at Diddy events in a very specific year. Fans started drawing timelines. Fans started tagging names. Fans started building a case that 50 Cent never had to argue. That is the beauty of what 50 Cent constructed. 50 Cent handed the audience the pen and stood back while the audience wrote the sequel. And do not underestimate the daughter comment for one more reason. In that specific interview, when the daughter age was brought up, 50 Cent could have easily pivoted. 50 Cent could have made a joke. 50 Cent could have deflected with a Netflix plug. 50 Cent did not. 50 Cent let the silence sit. And silence, in a 50 Cent interview, is the most expensive real estate on the internet. Because when 50 Cent goes quiet, the audience fills in the blanks louder than any lawyer could ever object to. Do not sleep on Rick Ross either, because Rick Ross is a wild card nobody is pricing incorrectly. Rick Ross and 50 Cent have been at each other for over a decade. Officer Ricky, the lawn mowing jokes, the Balenciaga hoodie at the airport, the correctional officer paperwork, the endless bars traded across mixtapes and Instagram lives. And now, right when 50 Cent has a hit Netflix series and 3 Emmy nominations, Rick Ross is starting to feel like a very available B-plot. Because if 50 Cent greenlights a spinoff, Rick Ross fits the format. Rick Ross has decades of tape. Rick Ross has industry receipts. Rick Ross has fans who would tune in just to see how 50 Cent frames a story. And Rick Ross knows it. Every recent Rick Ross interview has a new edge to it. A defensive tilt. Like Rick Ross is waiting for a camera crew to knock on the door. Because in the world 50 Cent built, cameras always knock eventually. Here's the part that snaps everything into focus. Whether or not season 2 is officially real, the effect is already real. Executives at 3 streamers, and yes, 3, are quietly asking their teams what the next 50 Cent play is going to be. Publicists at 4 major PR firms are drafting reactive statements for names that have not been indicted, sued, or even accused, just in case. Old business partners of Diddy are checking their storage units for hard drives. Random hangers-on from the 2000s are deleting Instagram carousels. And JayZ, according to whispers that keep circling the same 3 rooms in Manhattan, has instructed at least one attorney to prepare a monitoring memo. A monitoring memo, just in case JayZ's name shows up in a treatment for a project 50 Cent has not officially confirmed. That is the leverage 50 Cent has right now. And 50 Cent did not need a subpoena to get it. 50 Cent just needed patience, a Netflix deal, and a very cold sense of humor. So let us zoom out, because the surface story is a feud. The middle story is a documentary. But the real story, the one everybody is missing, is that 50 Cent has quietly become the loudest whistle in a culture that used to punish whistles. 50 Cent turned pettiness into prestige. 50 Cent turned Instagram trolling into 3 Emmy nominations. 50 Cent turned an accusation nobody wanted to touch into #1 in 36 countries. And 50 Cent did it while getting called petty every single week. 50 Cent accepted it. 50 Cent wore it. 50 Cent said 50 Cent is fine with it because petty pays, petty streams, petty wins Emmys, and petty, when weaponized by somebody as patient as 50 Cent, becomes the closest thing hip-hop has to accountability. Watch also how 50 Cent handled the hit piece accusation. Diddy's team called the docuseries a shameful hit piece and claimed the footage was stolen and unauthorized. 50 Cent did not deny. 50 Cent did not sue. 50 Cent simply pointed at the numbers. Number 1 in 36 countries. 11 more climbing. 3 Emmy nominations. And 50 Cent asked, essentially, if a hit piece can win an Emmy, is a hit piece really a hit piece? Or is a hit piece just a truth wearing an uncomfortable outfit? That question has become the loudest one in the industry this month. Now the question, the real one, not the fake one everybody is asking. Forget who is in season 2. Ask this instead. If season 2 never happens, has 50 Cent still won? Because look around. Diddy is in custody. Diddy's team is issuing statements to Netflix. Marlon Wayans is doing damage control. JayZ is silent in a way that is starting to sound loud. Rick Ross is watching the door. And 50 Cent is posting memes. Same 50 Cent from Queens. Same smirk. Same timing. Only now, the memes come with Emmy nominations attached. So even if the sequel never films, 50 Cent already changed the temperature of the entire industry with one project. And if the sequel does film, it will not need a marketing campaign. The marketing campaign has been running for 2 decades. It has been called every 50 Cent interview, every 50 Cent post, every 50 Cent like in a comment section that everybody swore did not matter. Turns out the comment section mattered the most. Here's what to watch for in the next 30 days. Watch for a specific kind of post from 50 Cent. Not a meme, a photo with no caption. When 50 Cent goes quiet, that is when the room should get scared. Watch for a producer credit on a new project quietly filed with a guild database. Watch for JayZ to attend one event that JayZ would normally skip, just to be seen looking calm. Watch for a Rick Ross freestyle that mentions 50 Cent without naming 50 Cent. Watch for a Marlon Wayans apology that is not really an apology. And watch, most importantly, for the next Netflix press release. Because Netflix does not throw 3 Emmy nominations back. Netflix doubles down. That is what Netflix does. That is what Netflix has always done. And 50 Cent, sitting at the top of Netflix's most talked about title of the year, is Netflix's favorite kind of problem to keep employed. So when somebody asks you who is next after Diddy, do not say JayZ, do not say Rick Ross, do not say some third name pulled from an old blog post. Say the name that actually matters. Say the culture. Because the culture is what 50 Cent is really putting on trial. The parties, the silence, the shopping offers at weddings, the matching skinny white girls jokes, the half-a-homo jokes, the green room whispers, the industry inside voice. 50 Cent is not making a docuseries about one man. 50 Cent is making a docuseries about a system that protected one man for 25 years, and every A-lister who benefited from that system is now sitting inside the frame, whether A-lister likes it or not. That is the trap. That is the whole trap. And 50 Cent built it with a smile, which is why the last piece of this puzzle is the funniest and the scariest at the same time. When 50 Cent was asked why 50 Cent kept going, why 50 Cent would not just let the story breathe, 50 Cent shrugged. 50 Cent said 50 Cent don't give up. And then 50 Cent posted the Netflix numbers again. Number 1 in 36 countries. 11 more still climbing. As if to say, why would 50 Cent stop when 50 Cent is winning? And that, right there, is the sentence JayZ, Rick Ross, Marlon Wayans, and every silent A-lister needs to underline in red. Because 50 Cent is not stopping. 50 Cent is not slowing down. 50 Cent is not softening. 50 Cent is scaling. And the next chapter, whether it airs on Netflix, on YouTube, on a Sunday morning interview, or in a comment section at 3 a.m, is already written in 50 Cent's head. All 50 Cent has to do is press post. So tell me in the comments, who blinks first? Does JayZ break the silence with surprise verse, a podcast sit down, or a lawyer cleared statement? Does Rick Ross drop a diss track that ages badly by Tuesday? Does Marlon Wayans quietly disappear from the timeline for a month? Or does 50 Cent, as usual, ignore all of them and post one photo with no caption that ends 3 careers by lunch? Because that is the world we live in now. And 50 Cent built it while everybody was busy laughing at the memes. If this breakdown connected the dots for you, hit the like button, subscribe for the next update, and share this with the one friend who still thinks 50 Cent is just trolling. 50 Cent is not trolling. 50 Cent is closing. And the door 50 Cent is closing is a door a lot of famous people wish they had never walked through. Talk soon, stay sharp, and keep your eyes on the comments. Because in 2026, the comments are the confession booth